Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. Kind of a similar question here,
Okay.
and this came from Connie. She says, I have a gardenia tree that I keep in the house all year long, and I put it out on the deck in early summer. And it did fine for a while, but now the leaves are turning yellow and coming off, and the buds are brown. So she's wondering if she killed it.
Well, there's something wrong for sure. Gardenias are particularly fussy. We don't get an indication there of how old that plant is. They, too, can become pot-bound. They definitely need some acid. Now, it's awfully hard to tell you how much, but I would certainly think in terms of using a little bit of sulfur, and I mean a little bit, just kind of like the amount you'd use of salt that you'd put on a good steak, very little, and then use mere acid or one of the other water-soluble acid-type plant foods, and see if you can't get it back into shape root-wise, because I have a hunch that the problem is in the pot, and quite possibly very much like Lois's.
Is it common to have problems when you change the environment of a plant, taking it outside? Because you know we all like the indoor plants, and you take them out in the spring, and you know I've had them. I take them out, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what is this?"
This is very true, Mark. And there are, I mean, it's. Microclimates is what plants live in, regardless of what we try to change. Now, the reason for mentioning that is I very closely caused a plant to defoliate this spring myself. I took it from inside outside. It's normally by kind, and then this particular plant is very, significant grower. I took it out. I gave it 3 days in higher light than in the house. And I thought, okay, back out into the sunshine. Kabam. It burned the leaves right off the plant. Now, it was caused to defoliate or darn close. I even went ahead and cut some of them off that were ugly and decided, well, we'll give it a chance. And it has come back out again with new leaves. So, yes, changing that microclimate indoors is one of the worst places in the world to try to grow a plant. It's too dry, it's too dark, it's too everything. However, obviously we can do it and do. But then when you change that and go outside into probably a different watering circumstance, depending on whether you're dependent on Mother Nature or whatever, and so on, it's a major change. It's just like us reorienting from one part of the world to the other.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com